Good morning. Welcome to Hiram Hikes. I'm Hiram. It is Monday, May 22nd, and I am in the Shenandoah National Park. Changed my plans yesterday. I was going to start from Rockfish Gap, which is the southern end of the park, and hike up. And I didn't really have a plan for that. You know exactly how far I was going to go. I'd go some point and then shuttle back, get my car, and move it someplace. So I talked with a couple of other people and a couple of locals, and so here's what I'm doing. I think haven't quite executed yet, but I'm at Big Meadows, which is about halfway up the park. So if you're not familiar with Shenandoah National Park, it is a long, narrow, skinny park. It's over 100 miles long, and it runs basically north-northeast from Waynesboro up to Front Royal, Virginia. At places it's less than a mile wide, and I don't think it's ever more than several miles wide. There's dozens and dozens of overlooks, which are, their term for a pull-off, where you have a nice view, and a lot of times a sign that tells you what you're looking at and whatnot. There are campgrounds and picnic areas and three major lodges. You can enter from the north end, the south end, and I think there are 2 roads that come in part way. Other than that, it's a long 2-lane country road, the Skyline Drive, that runs the length of it. It's one of its main features, in addition to all the beauty and wildlife and the mountains and whatnot. So my current plan is I'm halfway up. I need a hiking pass, which you get when you enter from the bottom or from the top. But since I'm starting in the middle, I got to figure out if I can get one here. I'm at a visitor center, which doesn't open until 9, unfortunately. If I can get one, then my plan is to get my hiking pass, park here, and hike south about 4 days. It's around 50-something miles. And then get a shuttle back to my car, probably just leave it here and then hike north and get another shuttle going the other way. That's where I think I'm going to do. So I'm on Black Rock. Basically out behind the Big Meadows Lodge, obviously up a steep hill to get up to the rock here. But this is looking pretty much to the west. Quite a view. Not far from the AT. A little bit, find that, and then I'm going to head south. That's the AT. So I'm back on the AT. I don't see any white blaze, but in Shenandoah, they use these cement posts with metal bands. That one says Appalachian Trail, shows north and south. Distance to Lewis Falls and to a campground. I'm 62 miles from Rockfish Gap, which is where you get on and off at Waynesboro. So that's a little bit farther than I thought it was going to be, but that's the kind of stuff I probably should have checked into in more detail, but I didn't. So I should be good to go. I'm gonna head south. I got what they refer to, the shelters are called huts here. I got one in about 7.5 miles. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll see what the trail looks like. The next one is 20 miles away, which would be a pretty good jump from the 7.5 mile one tomorrow if I decide to stay at that one. But again, I have no idea what stealth camping situation is in the park or any of that. So I'm gonna learn a little bit of that as I head south, which is what I'm going to start doing right now. Kind of hoping I met Granny Square at the Rockfish Gap when I got off the other day, and I just was in a total brain fog. I'd been hiking for the week, and she said she pulled up in a truck, somebody giving her a ride, and she said hi, and I just couldn't remember her. I was so embarrassed. Stayed with her in a shelter the night before McAfee Knob, and she took my pictures on McAfee Knob, and I took hers, and I was just totally spaced. So if she sees this, if you see this, Granny Square, sorry, all me. I was just beat and drained and not thinking. Hopefully I'll see you sometime here in the next day or so, and I can recognize you, say hi, and apologize. Right now I'm headed south. Little cemetery along the trail. Obviously some of it probably predates the park. But some of it definitely does not. There's dates from 2019 burial and whatnot here. So apparently when they set the park up, there was some sort of an agreement on who had rights to still be able to come here to be buried. And it's still an active cemetery, and as you can see, it's been actively taken care of and decorated and whatnot. Various graves. So it's not on Skyline Drive. There's a little dirt road. I mean, I can hear vehicles going back and forth on Skyline Drive. So I mean, we're certainly less than half a mile from Skyline Drive. Probably more like a quarter mile from Skyline Drive down this dirt road. AT goes right there, headed south, across the road. There are white blazes. There weren't any up near Big Meadows, but once I got a bit away, we started the trails. The trail is in great shape. The trail's well marked. Good overall. So I'm headed south. So it's 11:45. I'm 2 hours in, gone a bit over 3 miles. So that's good. The trail's been good. Got a little rocky in places, but nothing hard, just to kind of where you just have to be careful where you put your feet. I've crossed 2 water sources. There's been ups and downs, but none of them have been real steep. I'm a third of the way into a pretty good size up right now. This way is headed south and is up. I think it actually gives me my high point of the day when I get there. It's a little warmer than I would like it to be. It's in the probably mid 70s, maybe upper, I don't know. A little bit of a breeze. I've passed a number of hikers headed north, mostly day hikers, but some through hikers as well. Nobody yet that I actually knew and had met before. Actually, I see somebody coming now, so I'm about done with this post. Headed south. I did know there was a rocky section coming. Most of the trail has been pretty good. This section, I'm told it's like a quarter to a half a mile of really rocky, but gets good after that. So headed south. So I'm at the Bear Fence Shelter. It is marked hikers only because we're not too far from the road. People could come down here. Little trail running up that way. I don't know where that goes. This is the main trail that I came down off the AT. There is a privy right up there. There is a fairly massive masonry and stone fire pit sort of thing out here. That's a bear box right there, place to store food. And they also have bear poles here. So they have both configurations. Not exactly sure why they have both. They also have another trail here that runs up a ways. I'm not sure why that. Maybe there's campsites up there. I don't know. There's a pole there marked with a yellow stripe past the bear box. It says spring. I have not been down to check that out. So, I believe I will be spending the night at the shelter. Did a little assessment. I could go another 0.7 miles, which doesn't give me much, to a campground. Couple of things though. One, I got to pay to stay there, which no big deal. I don't know what the campsite costs, but I'm sure it's not much. Problem is there will be very few hikers there. It'll mostly be people coming to be in the campground. And in general, they don't understand the concept of hiker midnight being like 8 o'clock when most hikers want to be in bed. And that's fine because, they're on vacation and whatnot. So if they want to be up messing around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, they should be able to do that. I don't have a problem with it. But if I want to get up at dark 30, one, they wouldn't appreciate that. But more importantly, I don't want to go to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night if I'm getting up at dark 30, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.